Now, making it big as an investor and getting rich over time is down to three very simple things. You've got the knowledge of making money, understanding investment and why you are ultimately doing it. You have timing. The time of which you invest could well be giving you that probability of success, essentially. And the most obvious is technically luck. Are you lucky in what you buy? However, there's more than just three. There's probably about 8 or 9 if you divvy them up a little bit. We're going to talk about a few more on top of this because I think human emotion gets in the way, but all of you are maybe one investment away from making it big. So throughout this video, I'm going to go through my mistakes. I'm going to give you some pointers. I'm going to talk about the obvious here. And I think it's a really good video to get you going because I think a lot of people give up when little dips and hardships come about. So the first bit of this is all about knowledge. Knowledge is absolutely king. For obvious sakes, I know that there's however many billion people in the planet. Not everyone wants to invest. Not everyone can afford to invest. But the people that learn how to make money or use money to make money, if that makes sense, via investment vehicles, have a better chance of success. I will go through this in more detail, but when you think about people with cash, they just save cash, you got the dollar value, ever slowly depreciating, as you know, people want to put that to work. If you are one of those people that I want to invest, I want to buy Bitcoin, I want to buy into tech stocks, index funds, whatever it may be, that's a good starting point. Then you start going into the delves of maybe the DGen world, meme coin world, whatever it may be. And then over time, your money will, hopefully, if you know what you're doing, will work for you. Now on the screen, Learning Crypto is my company. You don't have to use this, but ultimately you can use YouTube. You can get all the knowledge you want all over the place, which is why the YouTube generation, certainly for us lot, is really, really useful. Even information on websites like CoinMarketCap, giving you the information of the coin or the asset that you're buying, certainly for cryptocurrency assets, is perfect. It's got the news, got the information, got videos, got guides, got articles, got everything that will allow you to get that information, that knowledge, to maybe find a really good investment at a potential good time. What about if you like traditional market stuff? What about if you want to find how the world of investing works if you are looking for ETFs or whatever it may be? The more knowledge you have, the better you'll do. And that's the common goal here. You want to understand what you're doing. And I think a lot of people forget that. Everything is all about knowledge. If you want to become the best bodybuilder, what do you want to do? Well, you want to learn about how to become better, right? What about if you're a movie maker? You want to become the better editor, right? Bricklayers, whatever it may be, I can think of anything. You should become more knowledgeable, and practice also makes perfect. You've got to go through a few pitfalls, a few mistakes, and then it gets easier over time. But we'll talk about time in a bit. Now, the most obvious bit about this, and I said the word time, but we're going to change that a little bit to time in, because time is more important. It's a different metric. You need to get in the market at the right times. Now, this is hard, I know, and feel free if you want to comment on the video when you got into the crypto market, but I know a lot of people get it at the wrong time. Most people, no offense to anyone, get into crypto at the wrong time. They will buy very late when the market's really green and very bullish. Same with the tech stocks, when it's very green and bullish. Everyone now wants to buy Nvidia. Why? It's like the top assets are in the world. The big fundamental problem with this is it works two ways. You can buy at the right time and not take profit, or you can buy at the wrong time and lose a lot of money. See what I mean? You can do silly things. It's always around that element of like, I can make more money if I'm sitting in this. You can lose less money if you buy at the right time. It's crazy when you look at it, but timing is absolutely key. Let's use on the screen here, Nvidia as an example. Timing is key. Now you can put on your chart simple trend metric tools. Research should give you a perception of an undervalued or an overvalued stock, certainly in the stock market, same in crypto as well. An EMA will help you, exponential moving average. A moving average may well help you. Certain trend metrics, as I say, will help you get in at the right time. On a higher time frame, it makes sense. So when we talk about altcoins as well, go into this one. I mentioned in my last video, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss anything, by the way, that altcoins don't look great because the total 3/BTC is actually trending down, which was indicating that it's weak against Bitcoin. What we've seen recently is Bitcoin has broken up and potentially going even higher. Therefore, altcoins are weak. If Bitcoin is strong, your timing is off with buying and holding altcoins because you're depreciating value in Bitcoin. I know, if I've lost you, sorry. But timing is all about the key. And I'll go back to this point in a bit, because one of my main mistakes, which I've lost a lot of money on, and I openly admit that, is buying the wrong thing at the wrong time. You'll find out very, very soon. Now, if you don't know this, I bought into Bitcoin in 2016. For some people, they call me lucky, and we're going to go on about luck. Luck can be made in many different ways. It's just the way it is, right? Now, on the screen, I'm going to show you this now. I was buying Bitcoin around, let's be honest here, this sort of time frame, November, October time of 2016, right? Back when Bitcoin was 3 figures. Now, to some people, that's lucky. Oh, you were lucky you just got in. Now, you could be very, very unlucky and get in at the right time or the wrong time. It just depends on how you manage your investments. We'll go on to that in a bit. But depending on what you bought, whether you bought Facebook when it incepted itself, or certain tech stocks when they were low, or if you were like in the 80s and you decided, I'm going to buy some stocks in Coca-Cola or, crazy stuff like Costco, whatever, you may well look at yourself thinking, did a good job there. But one thing that is for sure here, luck can come from 2 things: your research and, wait for it, your entry. It all rhymes because the luck is in timing and it is also in knowledge. So you make your own luck basically, right? But you do need it. You need a lucky break as well, because you may risk too much on certain things and you may blow yourself up. You may risk very, very small and wish you bought more. But the luck in it is all about knowledge. The more you know, the better you are. If I didn't know about Bitcoin, I probably wouldn't invest in when I did, right? If I didn't time the market right before that big bull market, I probably wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. It's just the way it is, right? It's the same with growing a YouTube channel, or if you're a simulator driver or a Formula One driver, you need a bit of luck in your career to get noticed and to make money somewhere down the line or get sponsorships, whatever it may be. Same with investing, right? You need to get noticed in terms of when you're doing content creation, that you may well be accountable for what you're doing, but accountable also comes from investing. If you're a good investor and you can talk well and you can give people instructions, and what I'm seeing in my own Patreon, link below, is seasoned investors from 2, 3, 4, 5 years now experience are able to communicate what they're doing in the Discords or whatever it may be, or even on social media, because of their experience and their accountability. You need a bit of luck to do it. But as I say, luck comes from 2 things. It comes from knowledge and it comes from time in the market. Very, very right. Now, I kind of glanced over blowing yourself up a little bit. Risk management. There's a lot of boom and busters in the market where you buy low and you never take profit, or you buy at the wrong time with too much money. You don't have to use leverage to blow yourself up. It's just the way it is. Now, on the screen, simples. I've got the Fear and Greed Index. It's a really good metric. We talk about risk management and we talk about timing. It's always good to buy when it's fearful, always good to take some profit when it's greedy. But weirdly, it blows my mind, I talk about learning crypto in my company a lot. I get a lot of horror stories coming through the gates. Same with Patreon. People are open and honest and go, right, I've done this. Help, Ash, what do I do? One of the most common ones is when it's very greedy, people buy more and more and more and more and more, and then they forget how much they bought, and then they become at risk. Dollar cost averaging up is essentially what people do. When we talk about you only need one asset to really make it, the one thing that people fail to do is understand risk management. And it's right. There's these 5 little rules that I'm going through here. We're starting off with knowledge. We're starting off with luck, timing. We're going to go into risk management. If you can manage your portfolio correctly, you have a much greater chance of survival. And I think it's it's the jam and the cream in the Victoria sponge. It's absolutely the dog's bollocks, this bit. You need to listen to it. You need to manage your risk more than you ever think. If you're a trader, you need to risk a percentage of your account every single time. So even if you lose 4 or 5 or 6 in a row, you're not going to die. Same with spot BTC or spot Ethereum, whatever it may be, right? If you're buying an asset low, you're using money that you can afford to lose. Your bloody whole life should not be changing anyway if you're an investor. That is the most obvious thing. And look at Bitcoin. Let's just talk about risk management in simple 101 terms here. Bitcoin has had 98.4% profitable days if you've been holding it. Like I say, I was buying back in these 2016 periods. I'm tickety-boo. It's absolutely fine. Not everyone I know can relate to this, but maybe in 10 years' time, if you've been buying Bitcoin over the last year, do you have anything to worry about? Maybe not. But you might do if you buy the euphoric tops. For example, that's just to give you a simple example. Or you are gambling all your money on meme coins. You need to manage your risk. And the most obvious part of this is be accountable for what you're doing. Write it down. Create a journal. Because one investment that you could make, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, or even if it's one you just done, a really good entry point could set you up for the next part of this video. See this little thing here? It's called a watch. Tells the time. And in my opinion, time is king. Like I say, 2016 investor in crypto. Before that, I was in the stock market and index funds, right? If you bought, say, Solana in 2021 or early 2021, 2020, whatever, probably doing all right now. But you may have had a bit of a wobble when it crashed and burned. Likewise with other things in the market. Time is king. So if you've got your knowledge, if you time the market right, if you're managing your risk and you're not blowing yourself up with stupid investments and you allow time to do its thing, you get lucky anyways, don't you? Because you're making money. I have done it myself. I have made quick money very, very quickly off good research, buying low when no one's noticed it, and I've done well. I've also made some horrible mistakes, which we will go through too. But in reality, right, you've got so many metrics. I'm just going to look on here now. Bear with me. Coin market cap, right? You've got all these assets, right? Crazy. But when you think about time, XRP was once a very small asset. Cardano launched at a very good price in its pre-sale. So did Avalanche. So did Chainlink. All the early investors of that, and they saw it early, have made money. Look at the likes of meme coins with Pepe. Casper has been doing incredibly well recently too, right? So time is massive, but it all comes from knowledge. It all comes from timing it correctly and being able to buy. Some of the assets that I've bought have made me money in previous cycles. I have moved on. I bought new things in the hope that I do it again. That's just the way the game is. You buy low, you sell high, you rebuy other things at a later date when the market's at a fair value on maybe some newer assets or maybe some assets that you like the look of that are developing very, very well, right? Same with the tech world, right? You may well buy into the likes of Meta at the lows and sell it for profit. You may well then rotate that into something else that's a bit hotter at the time. Bitcoin miners could become a thing, right? So with regards to that, timing is absolutely huge. But time in the market is even more, because I think people forget that seasoned investors have been doing this for decades and they're just getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthy. But sometimes you may need that one big spark to get you going. A lot of people that come to me, certainly in obviously the communities, always have a dream of reducing their hours or being able to be full-time investing to be able to do this full-time, because it is a lot to take in. But you sometimes need that one big catalyst to send it. I remember one of my best investments in 2017, literally $200 into like $58,000 or something ridiculous at the time. And I didn't take full advantage of that. I should have done, but that could have really set me up. Likewise with my Bitcoin holdings, if I didn't waste it on altcoins, and I'll go through all my mistakes in a bit. Trust me on this one. You need to get rid of mistakes before you really start to notice things. So what we're going to do here, I want to give you some examples of some real big gains over the course of this year and the last year or so. Obviously Bitcoin, if you've been buying at the 15K lows, I'm going to come back to this in a bit. Same with Ethereum. Some of these lows, right? Yeah, they're doing okay. They're making you money. But what about the likes of ICP when it launched? Yeah, it's probably a very, very big mistake for a lot of people. It is what it is. But on the other hand, you've got Injective that has been running incredibly well and could have made you a lot of money. It's just how things are. What about Near Protocol? This massive big run could have set you up on that previous cycle, melted a bit, went back up. If you rebought at the lows because you felt conviction and confidence in it and you know that the exit of this was all due to the fact of FTX and the money washing around in that, mental, I know. But over the course of the year, you might have made a pretty penny. Another obvious one over the course of time is BNB. It's obvious, I know. But look at the gains over the course of the year it's made. It's done very, very well. Crazy, I know. But let's look at some more obvious ones the tech stocks, right? As I mentioned before, Nvidia. Crazy, I know. Even Netflix, crazy returns. MicroStrategy, crazy returns. Amount of people that don't get involved in Bitcoin miners or even MicroStrategy or anything related to Bitcoin as a low market capitalization asset have all done very, very well. A lot of the miners have, right? Even Coinbase. When it launched, it went crazy. It's obviously melted, but even then, to a lot of people in the market, you should be looking at some of these alternatives because they're going to run much more than the traditional market stocks, right? So when you look at that, that is some of the successes, and that's just the start of it. Some of these have ran 15, 20x. Certainly altcoins have done crazy gains already. You need that one. But if you've got bigger money and bigger capital and you're playing the traditional market, which is less volatile essentially, you may well find yourself in a very, very, very healthy position in the next year or two if you bought at the correct timing. Now, in terms of some of my mistakes, I want to give you the obvious. I should have bought more Bitcoin down here with my Tether, but what I did instead, dummy over here, I bought altcoins. I shouldn't have done. I should have waited for altcoins to essentially decrease in value versus BTC with dominance being high now versus then. Kind of makes sense, right? So I would have been much more wealthy buying more down here. Another factor as well is bags that I exited too early. Now, I used to do videos on Matic back in the day. This was before the pump. This is talking 2020 sort of times back in old YouTube content days. I sold literally like 3 or 4 weeks before the big giga pump. It happens. Same with XRP. I was an XRP holder. I know, I can't even get you the right chart on that one. But back in the day, back in like 2017, one of my first altcoins was Ethereum. My second altcoin was Litecoin. My third one was XRP and then Ant shares, weirdly, right? I had a load of XRP. And even though you can't really see this, I'll just give you an idea just so you can see it. Let me just show you. It was all the way down in these doldrum areas, and obviously it went absolute rocketing. You know, I talk about it. I bought Ethereum at $7. I sold it for a decent penny, but it wasn't, you know, if I held my original stack of Ethereum, which was a all right investment back in the day, I would be incredibly wealthy. You learn from these mistakes by sometimes selling too early and not seeing the bigger picture. Luckily, though, everything else has worked out for me and I'm doing okay. But for some people, that could be heartbreaking, right? And I don't want you guys to make that same mistake, because if you bought Ethereum in 2017, for example, you might well be financially free right now, which is, I know, madness. But again, same with Luna. Luna was another one. I was buying at 30 cents. It went obviously to 100, then it went to 0, right? So that's a whole bloody psychological breakdown potentially, where you could have had it all and then lost it all. So there's so many fundamentals here. I sold Luna at 90 cents, by the way. Why do people follow me? Yeah, you get the idea, right? But that was when I was wasn't really a YouTuber back in those days. So the overall element to this is you will make mistakes. You will always make mistakes. Nothing can go, perfect. But there'll be that one element where you will make it 100%. If you are applying the knowledge, if you are applying the obvious element of looking at the timing of the market with the cycle methodology, or if realistically you can manage your risk bags pretty well and you're quite happy to do so, you might be absolutely fine. This market in the tech world, cryptocurrency, whatever it may be, isn't going anywhere. If you can survive, you will survive. Which brings me on to the last point of this video. What you need to do, you need to get risk-free as quickly as possible. Simple as that, right? You need to be able to buy low, take some profit, and eventually remove your risk and build something amazing. Build an account. Spot bags. If you want to trade it, trade something separate. But if you think to yourself, in 10 years' time, where will I be? If your account goes from, say, $1,000, $2,000 like my own to 6, almost 7 figures in a matter of 5 years, you've probably done all right. And that's kind of what happened to me, which is absolutely scary and mental, and you just cannot compute it. But ultimately, there's going to be losses along the way. It depends if you can survive those. It's all about surviving. Get risk-free. Enjoy the journey. Investing is a way of life. But that one investment could do it. You could have bought Solana early. You could have bought blooming anything early in the crypto market that's now in the top 20 and have 6, 7 figures. But what's the next one coming? They might already be there. Look at some of the altcoin prices. They are low. They might well go up in value again. So there we go. Hope you enjoy. There's a video floating around my head somewhere that you can get your teeth stuck into. Hope you enjoy. If you like this stuff, jump on the old like button as quickly as you possibly can. Hit the subscribe button for more. Enjoy.